I was recently quoted $25,000 to build a small gazebo in my backyard just to have some barbecues at. That included a floor, a roof, some walls, and a pre-built set of kitchen island kind of things, which are surprisingly expensive when they need to go outside. So guys, we are gonna do it for much less, and I'm gonna bring you along to test out all of these cool products that I've ordered for this video, doing an entire DIY renovation of this entire disaster of a backyard. Yes, this is my backyard. This building used to be a commercial building when I purchased it. I remodeled the entire inside of the house. I built a 4-bedroom house out of it because it just made more sense than buying a house that was already done. That said, this backyard has been woefully neglected for far too long, and it's time to make it usable, guys. Now, this is the same backyard that you would have seen when we were testing out our zip line from Temu. Fun video if you guys haven't seen it. What we're doing here is we're gonna be installing a whole bunch of really cool products to test out. We have ourselves a $2,000 gazebo, like slant roof, a 12 by 20 from Wayfair. We're gonna be doing our own custom concrete countertops. This is my first time, so bear with me, but I think we have it down. Then we're also gonna be testing out a really cool patio set from Temu. Yes, guys, Temu. Now again, stick around to the end because all of this entire video is going to be edited and posted about 6 months after we finished doing all of this. That way I have a really good idea on what to tell you guys about the products and how they held up. right, ready? Bring your end down at an angle. Yep, just like that. All right, go. Walk. Spin mine around. Watch your step. Get the hole. All right. Already pretty stable, guys. Obviously we have a lot of leveling to do, but in order for us to know exactly where to put our posts in the ground, well, we need to build it first. This is kind of a set it, move it, do it kind of thing. All right, guys, in this project, we are basically doing a few things. One, I want an awesome backyard. It's been an absolute disaster back here for a very long time. As you can see, we already have our paver base set up. Now, the paver base was a lot of work, but I didn't really have any products to test in that, so we kind of just skipped through it a little bit. Now, next up is one of the main products we're testing. Our lean-to gazebo that we bought from Wayfair for about $2,000. Now, there's a little more testing that's going to go into this, including rain, water testing. I'll give you guys more details about it as we go. But for now, just know that it's up and it was a two-person job. A lot of the stuff can be done with one person, but some of the main structural stuff you're really going to need at least one other set of hands for. Now, just as a quick overlay of what else we have going on before we dig back into it, we built ourselves some walls over top of the brick. This is so we have something nice to mount to and we can run electricity through. As you can see here, I already have some of the wiring ran through the lines, but it's not just electrical wire that we're going with. This area is going to be a really good place to test other things such as outside speakers, lights, and all sorts of new tools to do all of that stuff. So along with the slat wall we're putting in here, we're also going to be running some other audio wires and some other stuff, which we'll get into here in a bit. But for now, let's just get back to work. Alright guys, just a little tip. When you're doing hole saw type stuff, if you don't know the exact size, take a piece of cardboard, and before you drill into your expensive walling, give her a quick test fit. Like this one right here, no matter where it's at, even though it's not fully snug, all the screw holes are open. Oh look, spider.
Too heavy. Just this one? Okay. I appreciate it. Good, sir. Yeah. My calls, please. These two are yours? No.
All right, guys, we are out here working again. Don't let the lights fool you. It's a lot darker than it looks. I'm actually using my Anchor power station. Don't worry, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just showing you guys that I actually use this stuff, okay? Now, these lights here, guys, these lights are crazy bright and they're RGB. They are going to be mounted out here. We'll talk about them a little bit more in the future, but these have been kind of my go-to work lights, and a 4-pack of these was like 50 bucks. Really good deal. All right, come on over here and check this out. So this is the beginning of the kitchen build. This is the main area up here. Now, what makes this all more complicated is that I had to build in a slope just in case rain is still going to be able to get in here a little bit. So you need to slope these away from your house. I believe it's 1/4 inch per foot, or 12 feet. So it drops 3.5 inches roughly. So as I'm doing this, just to show you guys something cool, what I do is I screw it in down there. I put the level on it, and then you see my screw here. I screw it in here until it's level. Obviously this level has seen better days, but you get the idea. And then once it's level, then I can cut out my piece. Now each one of these pieces is gonna have to be cut out individually. None of them are gonna be exactly the same size, so we can keep it level all the way across. Now, another little point of contention here. Some people would highly disagree. I have a lot of faith in the current setup. I believe that this area up here isn't gonna get wet. So I know it might be dumb, but this is not pressure treated wood. Everything else is. This whole side is gonna be pressure treated, covered, and sealed, but you know, it is what it is. Now, obviously there's a lot going on here. We have power wires and our cables ran up through here. These are speaker wire because I want to build my own little custom speaker thing. I'll probably put a shelf here, have a little controller here. Well, maybe not here because of the water, but maybe we'll see. We'll get to that. I am kind of just winging a lot of this. Now, another cool thing. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. If you look down on the ground, you can see a bunch of my mess. No, but this right here is the tape we were using to get a rough idea on where everything was gonna go. And this is the exact size cutout for my grill. This kind of stuff is really helpful for visualizing what you really want to do. For instance, I could move this around. I could set it down on the tape and get a rough idea as to where it was gonna be and how much space it was gonna take up. So I thought that was a really cool idea I saw online from another YouTuber. Again, sometimes these simple ideas are the best. Now, we'll show you what we're doing with the inside wall right over here. This is another variant of the slat wall. Now, in the studio space, I built my own. It was a huge pain in the butt. And then I found these 4x8 panels at Home Depot for like 48 bucks. These are 100% not designed to be outside. So if I end up having to replace these because they do not handle the humidity well, that will be on me. So just know this is probably not a good idea. Now moving into the electrical, these sockets right here, these are outdoor rated. And since I only built myself 1 inch of space to work with, I am using these really slim GAN boxes. You always got to use these when doing wiring. It just keeps everything safe in case things spark. It's not hitting wood. But anyways, that means I have to wire the in and out on these in that much space. I've done plenty of wiring before. Just remember the DIY lifestyle, guys, it's great. You can do a lot of things, but stay in your comfort zone. If you don't know how to properly do electrical, you probably shouldn't. Me, I learned a bit in college about proper electric safety. If you guys are really just gonna try this yourself, which I am not recommending without some professional assistance, just make sure all the power's off, guys, seriously. Get a voltmeter. Don't even just shut off the circuit. Make sure it's not even connected. Mine's not even connected right now, nothing. Moving along, we're gonna still be doing a bit more to this wall here. Obviously we have to add all of the other panels, but I need to get the countertops squared in first. And then we're gonna be trimming it out a little bit. We're gonna try to make it look a little bit different, a little bit nicer, because while this looks nice, I think we can do a little bit better. Now, coming up here, you can't quite see it from down there, but there is a circle hole I cut out up here, and this is the speaker wire. We're gonna be mounting one of the speakers up here. Now, what's really cool about this is going to allow us to test other outdoor speakers here in the future. So if you guys have any brands you've been looking at buying or you're thinking about getting and you want me to check them out, guys, throw them down below. I'd love to check them out. All right, so moving back over to the kitchen side here. Basic idea that we're going with. You guys will see at the end of the series if it actually turned out this way. But this is going to be our main counter. Up here, 55-inch TV. Because why not? It'll be a really good spot for you. You'll see why here in a second. Coming over here, we're going to have a sink. Kind of right below the TV. The sink has to kind of be here because this is where all of our water and drainage access is. Again, that's probably one of those things you should consult with somebody before just tackling on your own. But there's a lot of really good information on the internet. Now over here, we can see I do have this next leg started. This is not an L, this is going to be a C. You guys saw from the tape on the ground. Right about here in the middle is going to be where the built-in grill goes. I was originally going to try to put my Blackstone in here, but it's so darn big, it just takes up so much space. I'm going to hold off on that for now. And realistically, the built-in griddles, it's really hard to justify $2,000 for like a 24 to 30-inch griddle. So coming around to here, this is going to be kind of a cool area. This whole area underneath is going to be a counter and completely open underneath with chairs on both sides. Well, bar stools more than chairs. So it's going to give you some pretty good seating. I did test out this space with another bar stool to make sure it's comfortable, make sure you're not under the overhang. As long as it's not raining, it's going to be a pretty good spot. As far as this build goes, there is still a lot more work to be done, a lot more bracing. I'm going to get back to work tonight. I'm just going to kind of keep going.
Clean energy is a dirty little secret. The mining industry dumps 180 million tons of toxic waste annually. Searching for lithium in your kitchen right now? You should stop, and you should buy means. It turns out one company is doing it in a former lithium factory, and the furnace is hot as lava every second. If you want raisins, you can pay for someone to pick them out, or you can just do it yourself. But imagine instead of needing to get the raisins out, you needed to extract every grain of salt in that loaf. That would be a lot more difficult. But it's also the whole job of today's sponsor, Concrete. Concrete helps you pull your personal information back out of the hands of data brokers who collect and sell your details to people who abuse them and tell me where to safely dump them, or remind me to change my passwords. Is it my option or only recycle? Right now, the U.S. only recycles a small portion of its e-waste. That number isn't as much as it goes.
Guys, as we can see, we do have the walls done. Now, as far as the process goes, I didn't record a ton of it because, well, I don't like showing people how to do things the wrong way. No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty basic stuff. We mounted these up with some screws along the edges, and then we finished it up by securing it with this Milwaukee pin nailer. Now, these are going to be great in conjunction with the screws, but I don't really think I would use this to hold up the whole panel personally. I just don't think it'd be strong enough. Then we went through, we just got some basic different sizes of trim from Home Depot. We cut them to size. Did a little bit of router work, which you can see up here. We still have a lot of touch-up paint work to do. We need to go through with the nail filler and kind of repaint all the touch-up areas, but since we painted them over on the table, we have a really good base to start with. And it's gonna help keep them sealed. Now, let's keep in mind, real close here, this is not designed to be out here. So there is a good chance that over the next year or two, just from the humidity alone, it could fail. It's kind of an experiment for me. I love the way it looks. I really love the way it looks. It is not made for outdoors, so I'm not recommending you guys use it, but as you can see, I went with it anyways. Now, next up, we also had some leaks before I put all this up of rain coming in behind the gazebo. Now, even though there's an overlap on the roof by about 12 inches, water was still hitting the roof, bouncing up against the wall, and then running down the wall. We had a pretty torrential downpour going on, and I already had a plan for it. Unfortunately, those products didn't get here in time, thus you can see the plastic hanging down. It's really just circumstantial to my situation. Now, coming in next, we do have 3 power outlets out here. There is going to be one more power outlet underneath the cupboard. That is going to be for the grill and a couple of the LED light fixtures we're going to put around. Now, the main thing we're working on today is we're starting to put down the edges. This is the Z counterform from Concrete Countertop Solutions. They did send this over to me. Gonna be honest, guys, I was gonna buy it either way, but this really helps a lot with the project. Basic idea, you line your entire countertop with these Z forms. You cut them to size, make them fit, which I'll show you guys how to do here in just a bit. And then these are your forms for your concrete. You go ahead and send it. Now, once you're done, there is a weak spot right here in the plastic. This weak spot, you're just going to snap off the edges and you should have a really nice smooth edge with a nice lip built right in. I'm pretty hyped. This was the original idea I had when I first started building this whole project. So it's really awesome that they agreed to work with us and send this over. And I'm pretty excited to show you guys how it works. Now, as you can see, or maybe hear, we got some rain going on today. And the rain has caused a couple other issues. Let me show you. So I currently have this spare piece of board sitting here because check this out. The rain drips directly into our crack and it ate away all of our filler. Now, overall, I'm not super happy with the product that I ordered for that. I'm pretty sure it was all put together, but in the end, we're still gonna be putting on a gutter system. Right up here, we'll be putting a gutter on that runs all the way down. Well, I guess while we're out here in the rain, I will show you our solution. See the rubber right there? It is mounted underneath the roof. This is the kind of rubber they use for roofing, and it is also used around like exterior AC and heat systems, but it will work great for our purpose. Obviously, we just have some plastic in there for now. So with all the updates done, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna kind of start mounting these to the counter, getting our cuts in, and basically getting this ready to pour. We're also gonna show you how we're gonna do the edges here and a couple of little tips and tricks that we did along the way. So let's get into it. All right, guys, after about 6 weeks of working, mostly solo, but man, I had some help and it was greatly appreciated. It is time to do the Z Countertop Solutions Concrete Countertop. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this, so I reached out to a few different people and everything I saw came back to this company. The way they have it set up for doing the actual countertops, it made it a lot easier than trying to do it myself. And the products that they actually have for mixing into the concrete, which you'll see later, really help strengthen up the top and help you get that perfect finish. These are the only people who do this kind of form system. It's called the Z Countertop. It's like a breakaway form. Again, you'll see how this works later, but it's really, really cool. So we have it screwed in. It kind of hangs over the edge a little bit there. Now, I didn't talk a lot during the build process, but you guys can see there in the back, that is concrete board. That is what we're using for our base. And of course, you can see all the different screw types we used during the installation. Now, as far as cutting these forms out, honestly, it was very simple. We just took them, marked our 45-degree angles, and then we ran them here through the normal chop saw. Just go slow. You really don't want the blade to catch and kind of jerk around or throw things at you, just for safety. And one final thing I did is I kept one of these smaller scrap pieces around just to double check my corners. Guys, I built this completely from scratch, so things being perfectly square aren't really likely in my personal scenario. Alright guys, in this next part we did go ahead and seal all of the cracks and corners. We used tape on the edges and silicone around the other edges. Now, if you do not get it perfect, guys, that is okay. This stuff is not going to flow like water. It is still just concrete. Alright, and then of course we got to move into doing the same idea around the sink. The forms are a little bit different. They are a straight up and down form. You can see right there on the right side there is a red plug. That is a silicone plug that's going to give me a nice circle notch out for when I go to install the actual faucet for the water supply there. Alright, so if you look at the back there against the white wall, that is going to be the corner wall bracket. Now that is something you install against the walls so you have something to screed your board across. Now screeding is just moving a board back and forth or a straight edge to level out the concrete. We'll go through more in detail on that a bit later. Now the next step is to go ahead and roll out your fiberglass mesh reinforcement. Now you guys can see I'm wearing gloves here. This is fiberglass mesh. You do not want to handle this stuff without gloves or your skin's going to get nice and itchy. But basically, real simple, you kind of just roll this stuff out. You line it up, cut it, it'll cut with scissors pretty easily, no big deal there. And you get it basically covering the entire top. Now I think you want to keep it within about ½ an inch of the edge. And then after you roll this out, then you're going to come through and put down all of your holding clips. Now, back in the day, people didn't use these holding clips, and it used to be a real pain in the butt trying to keep this stuff down or up while pouring the concrete. You really want this stuff to stay in the middle, so those clips really help out.
Merchandise with an aggregate value of $1,500 or more. Regarding the Fourth Amendment, officers discussed the suspect's vehicle and residence.
Alright guys, it is finally concrete pouring day. Now I'm pretty nervous at this point. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're getting started. We're jumping right into it. We have everything ready. We have our Quikrete, which comes right from Home Depot, very cheap, like $5 a bag. Now we also have the bags of the mixture on the right. Each bag goes with one bag of concrete. This mixture has a bunch of small fibers in it that's going to further reinforce the concrete on top of what we've already done. Now the black stuff there I'm putting in, I'm using 4 scoops per, is actually coloring for the concrete. It's going to make it a little bit darker, a little bit more of a grayish black color. And this right here is the portion where my buddy Sam, who came over to help me out, doesn't like my scooping methods. He thinks that we should make the scoops a lot tighter like he does with his pro team. Either way, I still think it turned out great. You just want to keep the same consistency with every bucket you do to maintain a pretty optimal color. Now, if there's any part of this entire process you pay attention to, it's this part. Hear me now. A Milwaukee M18 drill, guys, is not strong enough to mix a bag of concrete. We learned it the hard way. I'm pretty sure one of my drills is dead, and we had to run really quickly and borrow one from a neighbor. As it gets dry, I have one more quart.
Yeah, we're gonna need one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Slow-ish. All right, our first pour is coming up right here. Now, guys, keep in mind these bags of concrete in a 5-gallon pail, they weigh a lot. They are very heavy, so be very careful lifting them, and do not set them on the edge of the Z-form. That stuff is made to snap off, so the last thing you want to do is snap off your form just as you're starting to pour. Well done. And ours is going in between the screen mostly.
We don't have to finger it.
No, but this did not cover a lot.
Okay, so we're gonna need the 12 like you thought, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the way you did it was smarter. You used your whole hand. Yep, I know. You can do things smarter than me. You turn.
Get the next 2 quarts in there.
Yeah, we'll do that, but I'm gonna switch the drill for you real quick.
Yep.
Okay.
So right here you can see I am using the board to slide back and forth. This is what they call screeding. I'm really just leveling it out, trying to get it level with the edges. Now this is not your final finish, guys. There's a couple steps after this we'll show you a bit later that really help you get that crazy smooth finish that most people are looking for. And keep in mind, you can hear him mixing behind me. You really do not want to do this step yourself unless you have a really small pour. You really need somebody to help you to keep going because this stuff sets up a lot faster than you think it does.
You're a jerk off. Where's your joke?
Concrete.
Hey, you want a Pepsi Zero or water?
Yeah, water wouldn't hurt.
You want the flavored waters?
Sure.
All right.
There you go.
Alright guys, remember earlier how I said the concrete sets up a lot faster than you expect? Well, mine set up a lot faster than I expected last night. So, I kind of missed part of the recording. While I thought I had a recording, I had the wrong SD card in the GoPro, and unfortunately the files did not survive. So I am going to link a video down below that shows these steps a little more in detail because there was 2 pretty important steps that we really missed that you need to see. Basically, you're going back through a certain amount of time after it starts to cure and you're smoothing it out. This is really important for getting your final finish. There's also side tapping. Basically, you go around and vibrate the edges to get rid of the air bubbles, something I probably should have done a little bit more because as you'll see here in a little bit, my edges aren't exactly perfect. But that's okay, I'm still really happy with it. It was my first time, still learning, and it looks fantastic in my opinion. But that said, what we're doing right here is we're going around with the hand sander and we're going to be sanding down the corners and sharper edges just to kind of clear the lip. And then we're going to start to take off all of our forms. This right here is certainly the worst spot of my entire pour. Thankfully, it's going to be completely hidden under my grill, so it's not going to be a big deal. But, you know, vibrating is important. It's worth taking a little extra time on. This section right here is when we were sanding and polishing. This took quite a while. This was a good 8-hour segment of the actual work done. A professional could probably do it a lot quicker. I was just too nervous to go too strong, too fast. But I feel like this is an entirely necessary step to make sure to seal off the concrete. That way you don't have any issues in the winter. Now, the polisher that I'm using there, I picked up on Amazon. I think it was around $200. The pads for the concrete polishing were actually sent over to me by Countertop Solutions as well. But just believe me when I say be prepared to spend some time on this to get it right. I probably could have spent a couple more hours and gotten it a little bit more perfect, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Now, there are a whole bunch of tiny finishing steps, repainting and all this stuff that I did, but guys, let's be honest, this video is long enough. I'm going to show you this quick speed up, little bit of a time lapse here, and then we're going to do the final unveil. All right, guys, this took about 8 weeks to do. We're going to go over the prices here in just a little bit. It has now been about 3 months since we finished it. We've had a couple of birthday parties and a few different get-togethers here, but now it's time for the full reveal. Alright guys, so this is the almost final setup. Now there are a few things I decided to leave out because this video, guys, this video is already going to be extremely long. So there's a few things, we'll go over what I didn't finish first. I didn't do anything with the speaker setup, I didn't finish the sink, and there's probably a few other things. Those will probably be for a separate video when we're testing a couple of other things, but for now, let me show you what we did finish. So we'll go ahead and start right here on this side. Obviously, if you've been watching every video, you've probably seen a couple of these things here. We have the ice maker and the little coffee maker. This ice maker has been, it's been the crown jewel of every get-together. People love having access to easy ice. It gets used a lot. Now, these walls, guys, we've had a crazy crazy rainy season this summer. And the walls, even though they're not made for outside, they're still holding up. Whether they will continue to hold up, who knows? I'll keep you guys updated. Now, we did have all the power outlets up and working. We did put a power outlet underneath here like we had planned, but we also put one down here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right back here. Now, these are all water-safe power outlets. So, they're going to be safe for the outdoors. If they do get wet, they're going to automatically trip on their own. They're GFCI and outdoor rated. Very important. This was not the intended plan for a smoker, but the girlfriend decided to buy me a smoker for my birthday, and I needed a place to put it. And it actually works out pretty good, but it does cut off a little bit of our seating, but really, it's not bad. It's pretty nice. The positioning of the grill, I absolutely love it. We're going to be cooking on it here in just a little bit. And then basically you can kind of see everything else that we did. But now let's talk about how well the products and stuff that we bought worked. First off, let's talk about the big one. We have ourselves the gazebo, the hanging gazebo. First off, it leaks. It leaks in about 5 different places. I'm pretty sure it's an easy fix with some slightly larger rubber washers, which I'll go back and do eventually. It's honestly just something I haven't gotten to yet. Like if you look here, this chair was sitting right about here and it's soaked. Given these are rated for outdoors, so not a big deal. Actually, we bought these on Temu. It's $80 for a set of 2, and they're awesome. They're made of that outdoor synthetic deck type material. Very rugged, very comfortable, easy to clean. And as you can see over here, we do still have some water on the counter. This is just from the side blowing in, but we have like a leak here. Come on over here and check this out. One of our bigger leaks is somewhere in this area. So somewhere in this area, there is the corner of the roof comes down, so the water comes off of there like an absolute river, and it gets underneath some of those little washers. So it drifts down onto the Temu patio furniture. So this is the Temu patio furniture. This whole set here, which is a 7-piece set, came in at just under $500. Every single person who has sat in it says, my God, this is so comfortable, and they asked me where I got it. Guys, it was Temu. I'm very surprised with this set. Now, this one right here is soaked. That's why I didn't sit there. But they do push off the water pretty good. But again, I need to fix the leaks. We'll get there eventually. This set right here I'm very happy with this set. Extreme recommend for me. It's lightweight, it's durable, it's tough. These things clean off really easily. Half the time I just clean them off with a blower. I actually use my compressor to clean this whole area anytime I clean it. Moving right along. One of the biggest downsides to this gazebo setup here is that it is black metal. In direct sunlight, it really bakes the area. So on one hand, it would be nicer if it was a bit taller, but at the same time, we found an easy fix. We picked up 2 of these Vevor fans here. Guys, these things are amazing. These are completely worth it. Now, they are outdoor rated, but I don't know if they're designed to get wet. I didn't see any kind of water rating on them. And where they're both placed, they don't get wet, but extremely necessary for a setup like this. Then, of course, you guys see the lights hanging down. These lights have been on for almost 2 months straight. We just kind of leave them on. I was really curious to see how long they would last. They're very cheap, like 20 to 25 bucks. They work great. They have 4 different color settings. They have 4 different brightness settings. And they have a remote. So kind of a easy win there. All right, now one other main thing. I did say I was going to add this. I did. This whole setup right here was about 60 bucks. Did kind of have to piecemeal it together. I think I bought it all at Lowe's. It was an extreme must. It was just kind of tearing up the grass. It was tearing up the ground because the water coming off of this metal roof is moving so dang fast that we had to put a gutter on it. Guys, I absolutely love the concrete countertops. I'm considering redoing my entire kitchen with countertops like these. These are awesome. Could I have done better? Absolutely. You look at some of the edges here, you can see the roughness. I think it gives them a little bit of character. But if I had done it right, they would be smooth. There's plenty of them that are just perfectly smooth because they put a little extra effort in, but it is what it is. Now, as far as the sealing process, I would highly recommend doing the sealing process we did in the video earlier. It is very time consuming. I probably spent 7 or 8 hours doing it. It was my first time. I was kind of stepping down slowly, but absolutely loved it. The Z-Form countertop from Countertop Solutions. honestly, it's a must. Trying to build all of your own stuff, trying to build all your own forms with a nice lip in there, I feel like that would be an extreme hassle. Now, as far as the price, yes, you guys want to know the price, I'm sure. The price to do this total countertop was about $1,100. That includes the price of the Z-forms, that includes the price of the actual cement that we bought from Home Depot. And now, I guess it would be an extra $200 because we did have to also buy the polisher. The polisher is a must. For me, I think the sealed off look, it's just kind of a preference for me other than the rough look. I feel like you want it to be smoother and it really handles spills and water a lot better than if you didn't fully seal it off. Plus, this is an outdoor counter. You definitely want them sealed because in the winter, you don't want water to get in there, freeze, and crack apart your countertops. So, full disclosure on that, Z Countertop Solutions did send over the forms to make this and all of the products. Not a direct sponsor, but I really wanted to work with them, and you guys know me. If I can save a few bucks on a video, that's just more money I can put into the next video. But now what a lot of people want to hear about is the cost. So the overall cost for this build is going to be up here on screen because off the top of my head, I don't actually know. I'm going to go ahead and throw the numbers up here. This over here is the total cost of the build. We're going to include everything in this cost. So this has been an extremely long video, I know. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know. There will be future videos from this area, 100% coming soon. From speaker installs to amp stuff to different lights. And of course, we'll cover this one last time. What I'm doing with the speakers is just for my own fun. The smartest thing to do is just use a Bluetooth speaker, guys. It's going to be so much easier in the long run, unless you have fun running wires and torturing yourself with electronics. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Again, I appreciate you for sticking around to the end, and we'll see you on the next one.